What's the biggest threat to humanity's future or something? I think we need to watch out about population collapse. This is somewhat counterintuitive to most people. They think that, well, there's so many humans, maybe too many humans, but that's just because they live in a city. If you're in an aircraft and you look down, they say, if you dropped a cannonball, how often would you hit a person? Basically never.
I think there's two reasons. One is kind of a defensive reason that, like, if something bad were to happen to Earth, then it could be like a meteor, or like whatever destroyed the dinosaurs, super volcanoes. Could be World War III. Like, we could just like nuke each other to death or something. Like, I don't know. World War III is like seeming a little more probable these days.
What do you think's the biggest threat to mankind right now?
I'd say the biggest threat right now is population collapse. The super low birth rate.
Really?
Yeah.
Over like nuclear war, natural disaster?
Don't we have an overpopulation problem?
No, we have an underpopulation problem.
Why do you
So
say that?
this is the most commonly misunderstood situation.
Yeah, they definitely push that we have a overpopulation
Yeah, why is
problem.
that?
I don't know. It's just like, I think it's like, this is a holdover from like, I don't know, the 70s or something, So there was a huge baby boom, like where people did have a ton of kids after World War II. But then the U.S. has actually the birth rate in the U.S. has been below replacement rate since like 71 or 72.
In the U.S.,
like 50 years.
How
50
about
years,
other
the U.S. has
countries,
been
though?
below replacement rate. Well, like China's got a huge population collapse problem. We're operating on things that were true in the past but are no longer true. So China did have a one-child policy, but like about 10 years ago, they changed it to a two-child policy. And then a few years ago, they changed it to a three-child policy, and birth rate kept plummeting the whole time. Assuming that AI is fine, assuming that there's a benevolent future with AI, I think that the biggest problem the world will face in 20 years is population collapse.
I agree.
I want to emphasize this. The biggest issue in 20 years will be population collapse. Not explosion, collapse. It's very easy to see what the world will look like in 20 years because humans have a 20-year boot sequence. So like you say, okay, well, who was born last year? Okay, now you know what the world look like in 20 years. It's that easy.
I agree with
accelerating
that.
collapse.
Accelerating
collapse. And then the common rebuttal is like, well, what about immigration? Like, from where? Yeah, Mars
aliens
needs people
here,
too.
probably.
Like, Mars needs people. Yeah, Mars needs people. There's 0 people there right now. So right now it's a machine planet. There's only some robots there. I think there's two reasons. One is kind of a defensive reason that, like, if something bad were to happen to Earth, then it could be like a meteor, or like whatever destroyed the dinosaurs, super volcanoes. Could be World War III. Like, we could just like nuke each other to death or something. Like, I don't know. World War III is like seeming a little more probable these days.
That might be the leading factor.
It might be the leading factor. So, so there could be either some natural disaster or something where humanity just like suicides itself with a World War III situation, and then it would be, good to have a second planet where so that like civilization isn't wiped out. So that's the kind of the defensive reason. It's like life insurance for life collectively, and so not just for humans, but all like the creatures that we love.
What's the biggest threat to humanity's future or something? Well, AI is certainly one of the biggest risks. It could be the biggest risk. I think we need to watch out about population collapse. This is somewhat counterintuitive to most people. They think that, well, there's so many humans, maybe too many humans, but that's just because they live in a city. If you're in an aircraft and you look down, they say, if you dropped a cannonball, how often would you hit a person? Basically never. All humans on Earth could fit in the city of New York on one floor. Don't even need the upper floors. So that's actually, the cross-section of humans as seen from Earth is extremely tiny, basically vanishingly small, almost nothing. So we need to watch out about population collapse. Low birth rate, I think, is a big risk. this is definitely the civilization ends with a whimper, not a bang, because it would be a sad ending, where the average age becomes very high, and really the youth are effectively de facto enslaved to take care of the old people. This is not a good way to end.
China's birth rate right now is 40% below replacement.
Wow, traditional women.
What we face is population collapse.
Huh.
Collapse. Like, people have no idea how fast the population is going to collapse.
What are we trending
Japan
at?
is pretty far along in that. Like, Japan actually lost like 600,000, went down by 600,000 people last year. So, I mean, I should say the like lifespan is increasing.
Mm-hmm.
People are living longer. That's the only reason why the population of Earth isn't plummeting, but it will plummet. So, like, one metric to track is the ratio of adult diapers to baby diapers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at what point does a country have more adult diapers than baby diapers? And like, Japan went past that point over 10 years ago, I believe.
We really should take this seriously, the population collapse, artificial intelligence. Obviously, sustainable energy is important. The faster we transition to sustainable energy, the less of a gamble we're taking with climate. And I think there's going to be a lot of breakthroughs on the medical front, particularly around synthetic mRNA. You can basically do anything with synthetic RNA, DNA. It's like a computer program. So, I think with enough, with effort, that's not too crazy. You could probably stop aging, reverse it if you want. You can basically do anything. You could turn someone into a freaking butterfly if you want with the right DNA sequence.
I think may have been him, or there was some like Pentagon general who said, because people kept on bugging him about aliens and stuff, and he said, listen, if we had any evidence of aliens, if I had an alien, I would drag an alien body or something. I'd show you that alien body, because you know what? If I showed you that alien body, we'd get our budget approved instantly. I don't think it is actually all that secretive.
Probably. Yeah.
It just like entered the mythos of, and I don't know, people got carried away. I don't think there's anything sort of super interesting in Area 51. Like, there are more advanced weapons that the U.S. has that people don't know about, but they're not like crazy alien weapons. I don't think there are aliens, at least in our sector of the galaxy. So there might be aliens in like a far away portion of the galaxy. By aliens, I think you mean like with spaceships that could potentially travel to here or something like that.